Good Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith with the daily video forecast discussion for the 17th of December, 2014. And on your way out the door this morning, skies are mostly cloudy. We had a front pass through. The winds are now all out of the west and northwest, and they're beginning to pick up a little bit of speed during later this morning and early afternoon as an upper air disturbance moves across the region. And temperatures right now under that cloud deck and somewhat drying atmosphere. We still have relatively high humidity values this morning with the clouds. A little bit of fog too in White Plains up the Hudson River Valley. A little bit of fog at Montgomery as well. Poughkeepsie has some fog, quarter-mile visibility there. A little bit of fog in Millville and Atlantic City still. Pressures are rising now. And with those clouds, we have temperatures ranging anywhere from the upper 30s to the low and mid-40s throughout the region. Morning pass of the visible satellite imagery this morning shows the clearing taking place, but we still have some mid-level clouds across the interior sections and the Hudson River Valley, and this will be moving in our direction for today as an upper-level disturbance still has to swing through. The cold front is now well off the coast, and we still have a little bit of moisture but sinking air to the west, and still we have an upper air disturbance which will be crossing the region during this afternoon. And as such, with this, we're going to find some precipitation, light sprinkles probably getting in here across the northern tier early this morning or later early this afternoon as that upper air disturbance moves through. But most of today will remain dry, predominantly so for most of the region, and more clearing will be evident the further south and west you go. And for watches, warnings, and advisories, we have a small craft advisory for much of the day on the bay side as well as the Atlantic coastal waters. For today, the winds expected to diminish somewhat over the bay after sunset. Over the Atlantic coastal waters, the breezy conditions will continue through the overnight hours tonight with waves at around 5 feet possible. And once the winds increase, especially on the Atlantic coastal waters. And for Thursday, small craft conditions should continue throughout most of the day before winds begin to decrease by late afternoon. Friday, sub-small craft advisory conditions expected. Northwest winds gusting still to around 20 plus knots right now. And Saturday, sub-small craft advisory conditions for the most part. Seas remain at around 3 to 4 feet. On the aviation weather deck this morning, we still have a little bit of limited IFR in Morristown. We have a little bit of fog there, a little bit of fog out on Long Island, up the Hudson River Valley area, also down through South Jersey. And we have a little bit of IFR and still quite a bit of MVFR conditions across the forecast terminals this morning. We should continue to see improvement throughout most of the day. Some stratocumulus clouds between 3,000 and 5,000 feet. And the winds will be a little gusty too out of the west. About 25 knots possibly throughout much of the afternoon and evening as well, continuing beyond this evening for Philadelphia, Wilmington, and Atlantic City. VFR conditions for Thursday, northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots, gust up to 20 to 25 knots. VFR on Saturday could see a little bit of rain or snow showers Saturday afternoon developing, and perhaps some sub-VFR conditions expected with rain and snow showers on Sunday. Right now, outside of Newark, New Jersey, we are in VFR, 45 degrees, dew point 43, humidity 93%. We have a west wind at 6, fair skies, broken ceilings at 6,000 and 8,500. Those are stratocumulus clouds there. And basically, we're looking for strong west winds at 15 gusts up to 25 knots with broken ceilings at about 3 to 5,000 feet during the afternoon hours. Philadelphia right now is in MVFR, 41 degrees, dew point 37, humidity 87%. Pull that up here. The wind is out of the west at 7. There's a little bit of fog there. Scattered clouds at 3,400 feet. Again, the story today will be the west winds at 15 gusts up to 25 miles per hour with broken ceilings and basically VFR conditions in place. Morning surface chart from weatherroanoke.com. A digital atmospheric software shows our low pressure area moving up towards the St. Lawrence River Valley with the occluded front moving into southern New England right now, and the cold front itself well out here east of the coastal waters this morning. We still have a northwesterly flow, and our upper air disturbance with this trough will be swinging through southeastern Canada over the next couple of hours before high pressure begins to build in during tonight and during the day on Thursday and Friday with nearly tranquil conditions. Latest morning run of the high-resolution rapid refresh cloud and reflectivity product from Penn State's eWall site for the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metropolitan area shows basically downsloping westerly flow. Temperatures probably getting into the upper 40s and lower 50s again. Pretty nice day. Could be a little bit of light rain showers and cloud cover across the northern interior late this morning, early this afternoon, but then the skies really begin to clear out nicely. And as that rain and upper air disturbance moves into southeastern Canada and also into New England, and we're going to have a downsloping flow and much chillier air coming in for overnight tonight through tomorrow with gusty west to northwest winds. NAMWRF composite reflectivity forecast from Penn State's eWall site shows a smattering of stratocumulus clouds as the upper air disturbance moves across into southern New England. There could be a few light flurries over the interior of the Poconos, scattered broken low clouds around the region, and then a smattering of clear skies as the northwest winds take hold. We're going to find the northwesterly flow and trajectory from off the Great Lakes, bringing in some cloud cover, especially over the hills of the Poconos into northwestern New Jersey, the lower Hudson River Valley from time to time. So cool tomorrow, tonight, and tomorrow, partly cloudy, partly sunny, respectively. Temperatures tomorrow, after today's highs in the upper 40s and lower 50s, will struggle to get through the upper 30s and low to mid 40s tomorrow, and the same story for Friday as well, with high pressure building in across the forecast region. Scattered cloud cover across the interior and mostly clear right along central and eastern shore points and down through the Delmarva region as well, but a cold air mass in place. We'll start off with a blend of the GFS and then transition into the European model guidance as well. A complicated forecast coming up with the escape hatch open in many areas, and we'll explain that in just a moment here. Here's our upper low across southern New England, exiting, high pressure beginning to build in, heights begin to lower, and as a result of that, cold air comes into the region. Modified cold air. It's not the worst situation here now. There's a lot of sampling of this data here out on the west coast, and we'll show you that in water vapor imagery in just a moment. And take a storm system through the Texas panhandle here, and we move it up and towards the Carolinas here. Here's our cold air signature damming here, so we're definitely going to start out with some kind of snow around here during the day on Sunday. Now the GFS completely begins it and then loses the out to sea, with a polar disturbance moving through and keeps the southern branch and the polar branch separate once again, kind of loses the storm, and we're just left with an inverted trough and some widely scattered showers around, which even the GFS is not showing at this point, and then more high pressure builds in, and this is where the forecast gets tricky. Then conditions begin to dry out or somewhat linger around the region on Monday and Tuesday, and then this is the important forecast for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Low pressure developing in the Central Plains moves up towards the St. Lawrence River Valley and deepens a surface wave here with quite a bit of a area of low pressure developing across the Piedmont here and across the Atlantic coastal waters in response to this, and this whole thing winds up with a rainstorm on our back doorsteps on Christmas Eve day and at night before cold air mass and gusty westerly winds build in as the storm really bombs out across southeastern Canada, providing that we have this blocking in place south of Greenland, a negative NAO beginning to form, and this scenario could play out slightly differently. And the European model guidance operational has precipitation moving in on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Again, we find the disturbance to be weak, much further south, even on the current model guidance here, and then that blows up into the northern Atlantic under the block that's in place. I'll show that on the water vapor in just a moment. This sets the stage for a dry forecast for Monday and Tuesday, and then that blocking pattern sets up nowhere for this storm to go, so it goes up towards the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence River Valley, really begins to bomb out, and then sends an occluded front through the region with rain preceding it on Wednesday night and Thursday morning. That would be Christmas Day, and then the cold air comes in, and we could be dealing with snow showers for Christmas afternoon and Christmas evening as the downsloping flow takes over and the west to northwest flow begins. So current look at our water vapor channel this morning. It shows our negative NAO beginning to form with the blocking here, with high pressure off of the south of Greenland here. And again, find our storm system wrapping up into a 50-50 low, or nearly so, and high pressure developing across the Hudson's Bay region, moving into the position. Here is our storm in question for Sunday, and if this is not modeled correctly on any of the models, then the whole forecast is off. This is a very strong and active subtropical jet stream, and the interaction between the polar disturbances and the subtropical jet stream means that this may not be deflected too far out to sea underneath this block. If everything works out properly, the storm would take a track further closer to the coast, and that would also set the stage for additional blocking to make the next storm system for Wednesday and Thursday, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day itself, more troublesome and worrisome than what any forecast or modeling is indicating at this point. So there's a reasonable high amount of volatility in the forecast for Saturday night through Sunday, and then there's much more of volatility in the forecast as we go into next week as well. So you're going to Pay attention and keep your ears and eyes towards the weather. For everything weather, it's Garden State Weather, gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a great Wednesday.